I'm Taylor Oracle, and I'm going to teach you how to do the Empress in watercolor. So we held up a piece of tracing paper to my monitor, and now we have a nice traced out Empress. So today we are using Hot Press Arches watercolor block. As you can see, it's a block, and it's hot press. So what we're going to have to do, let me go over the plan here. So we need to mask off anything that's lighter than this. And that's going to be these, because that's darker, we don't care. That's darker, I don't care, etc., etc. So we're going to have to mask off these little stars. In addition, I want to mask off the edges of her robe, because that's lighter. And that way I can comfortably put on this red without worrying about ruining her robe. Same thing with this over here. This I don't really care about. So that's really the only problem, is that one and the edge of her robe, and then this thing. So to mask it, we are going to be using Ken Bromley's blue masking fluid. One of my favorite. I actually ordered from the UK and I'm in the US, so I absolutely love this. Let's get to masking. And for supplies, we have a $2 plate from Walmart, some colors, a 50-cent Tupperware from Walmart, a towel from Walmart, and Rosemary & Co. brushes. We have the Shiraz rounds, and then we have the Sable mixture rounds. So that's just about it. The colors we'll be using, pretty much, I don't see any reason to use any other colors, are Sunlit Gold from Terry Harrison. He has this is nice for skies. I love this for skies. Permanent Alizarin Crimson for the cushion. Permanent Green and Sap Green for the greenery in the back. And then we're going to mix the red and green to make a gray. And then we're going to apply it. So let's get started. So we have that Terry Harrison Sunlit Gold, and we're just going to basically get a watery version of that and paint it up here. Again, it doesn't matter if we go into the trees, because the trees are darker, so it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to get this and just sort of slather it on. And again, it doesn't matter if we hit the trees or hit her head or anything like that, because all of that is darker. So we did mask this. I want to be a little careful around it so we don't rub off that mask. And continue on here with more Sunlit Gold. And I don't know how to do watercolor, so I'm guessing at a lot of this, so sorry in advance, but I do not know really how to do all the fancy advanced things. So I just kind of wing it. That's what I do. I just kind of wing it. And I figure the color is darker over there, so it'll be all right if, it's not perfect on this side or that side or whatever. So we need to make sure and get down here into where the greenery is. And then again, I want to make sure and hit around the masked area here and just get that going. And again, it's not going to be smooth, and I did not pre-wet the area before I did it because I have the masking fluid on there, so it doesn't matter. So I'll make sure not to hit her head and all that, or sorry, hit her hand, have that masked out. And then we're going to go over here and make sure that we're deep within the greenery. So that looks pretty good. It's just pretty basic stuff there. So now that we have this nice yellow hue, I want to make it darker up top. So I'm going to dip in a little thicker version of that Sunlit Gold and just go a little bit thicker on the top. And I don't have a hair dryer. I know like everybody does a hair dryer. I don't have one because I have no hair. I'm balding, so it's like whatever. It's like whatever, man. So why would I need a hair dryer? But I'm not going to buy one, I don't think, for watercolor. All right, so that looks pretty good. Kind of sloppy, but yeah, it looks all right. So that is my version here of the sky. All right, so now we're just going to rinse off and let this sit for a while until it dries. And I apologize in advance, but I'm watching football, so you're going to hear the football commentary. And it's the Green Bay Packers tonight, so I'm pretty excited. talking about the Thursday night football here. So we got the alizarin crimson basically coming in and just sort of slathering this down. So we're doing light because we can always go darker, but we can't go lighter. Well, we can, but it's messy. So just going light. So here's the cushion, going light on the cushion, just getting it nice. So it's mixed with a pretty healthy amount of water. And let's see, I believe that's going to work. So now we're just going over all the areas that are red. And again, we have those masked off, so we can just comfortably go over this. So after this, we should be good to move on to her robe. Now on her robe, we want to make sure and get the texture, not really texture, but the folds of the robe. We want to get those first before we start putting in the roses. Because the roses and all of that other stuff, that is going to, oops. Alright, here we go. Continuing on with just this light red. Again, it's not even, and I don't really care. I mean, I don't care. I'm going to come in and put more detail in later anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So get around this corner here, and then get this red in there. So we got this nice red texture in here, and again, it's not even, and I don't really care, because again, we're going through and we're going to make it even later. So, but overall, I think it looks all right. Just got a little bit of this red up in here, and then put details in it later, and pick up all the mess from below here. All right, well, cool. So that is our red. All right, so I put just a piece of tape here, and now I'm going to do the trees. So here we go. I got a tree and texture brush from Terry Harrison, as you can tell. So I added another piece of tape over here as well. So just sort of doing the tape thing today. It's all right. So I like this tree and texture brush. Gives a nice little, got a football yelling in the background. Sorry about that. So yeah, we go for that, and then we get a little more in the dark area. And we're going to hit that up here. All right, so we got a little tree coming up out of the hand, like right about there. Right there. And then we got another one over here. So let's do that. Like that. And then we got a little thing up there. That looks pretty good. And then on the left, make it a little darker. And on the left, we got like a little smidge of a tree there, and then a little thing of the tree there. And we'll put branches on it later, but overall I think that looks good for a first start. Now we do have a tree between her hand and her head, but I'm not going to do that with this big brush. So let's move on to the other side. Alright, and we go to the other side. So now we need some trees over here. Not sure where it starts. Starts at her shoulder, looks like. So we'll have a tree there, like that, and then we'll come up, looks like right here, like that, and then we have this gap, and then we have like a little bit of a tree thing there. Let's come back down here and get this tree, and I want to avoid this big ball of a tree here because that's totally different. So let's go ahead and get darker as we come down, and just sort of hit this tree around the ball there. So right like that. We got under the ball. There we go. All right, then we'll do the ball tree later. All right, and then now I want to come over to this side. And okay, I'm going to go to the right side of this ball tree. And then I want to do like this. Like that. And then we have some stuff down there, but whatever. All right, I don't want to just like fill this whole thing in. I'll leave some gaps. Again, get a little darker, and come in like this. Okay, I want to fill that in. All right, now as we come up, we'll have like that, and then like a little bit of action there. All right, and then over here, we got it come up. Like a little thicker there, and then like a little there. And again, we'll put some branches and stuff there too, make it cool. All right. So again, that noise is football, by the way. Football commercials are really loud. I don't know why they do that, but the commercials are like 10 times louder than the actual football game. All right, that's pretty good. And then down here we have it dark. So you see it's dark down there? So we'll do that with a brush. Come back and do that with a brush so we get it at the exact spot. But okay, overall it looks all right. All right, so let's get our Rosemary & Co. Sable Blend number 2. Dip into that green that we already did. Now we want to make it look like this. So let's put this here and see what we need to do. It's a little light, but whatever. But I want to get like a, sort of make it look like it's coming out there. There we go. Look, it's coming out there, and then maybe a little up here. So we just have that look, right? There we go, that look right there. Okay, so we get a little more of this green and get our wonderful Rosemary & Co. Sable Blend, and then come up here. So we have like a little bit of where it comes up like this, like right there. And then we'll go down through here. I mean, we don't want to make it look just too unrealistic, but I want to give it like a little smidge of this and that going through there. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now we are going to come up here. So that is, we're doing this. We already kind of messed it up, but that's okay. So we need to get this down like that to where it comes up, and then as it comes up, again, we're going up here, and then we're going to hit just a couple like at the top there, just a little smidge like that, like in the picture. All right, that looks pretty good. I like that. That doesn't look bad. And now we got over here, it's a little too straight, so we'll give it a couple little branches and stuff and come up there like that. Looks pretty good. And then coming through here and get right up on her wrist. So it looks like it goes behind her wrist. All right, that looks cool. All right. All right, and lastly, I get pure sap green. I just want to come in through here and get some darks in this side of it. So just some darks like on this particular side, maybe down near the bottom, just a little darker in there. So it's not all light everywhere, so you just have a little darks here and there. So just a little bit of the detail, and then as you come up, it's not as dark kind of thing. And we just move this around like that, and then get some more pure sap green, like that. It's pretty good. Then maybe a little dark up there, but not too much. Like the higher you go, the less dark you want, right? Little darks up there, right around here. There we go. All right, so that's nice. And then as it comes behind the couch kind of thing, it is pretty dark back there because there's like in you know, not a lot of light coming up behind the couch there. So we just have more darks there. We could sort of come and hug the couch like that. That looks pretty good. There we go. So that looks all right. And I believe that is the end of that side. And then I'm just applying this light color back there. So I just got some of that permanent green, and I'm just making it sort of, just making vertical brush strokes with it, you know. So vertical brush strokes coming in through here and approaching that water, making sure not to touch the water. But you know, that looks all right. I think it looks good. So that's basically all I did there. Alright, now I got some of that green and red and mixed it together because I want to get this right there, whatever that is. I want to get that. And that starts right around here. So now I have this like this super, super dark green, which is what I wanted there. So I get this super dark green, and then we're just going to sort of go down through here with it. I should have left on the masking fluid, but it's all good. It's all good. Just come through here and got that red and that green, so it makes this nice, you know, thing going there. All right, we get a little more of that with a little water, and then keep on coming in here with that. So I don't know what that thing is. Is that a hill? I don't know. We're just coming up through here with it, and then it goes down Still got the pregame going for this Green Bay Packers game. Alright, get a little more water. And go down through here with it. There we go. Right there, see? Right there. As Bob Ross would say, it's a happy tree. I like happy trees. Happy trees make me happy too. Alright, here we go. Come in through there. Then go down through here. And I know there's that. We have to come in with brown and sort of fix this, but that's all good. Alright, and we got that dark area down through here. And I believe that should cover it for whatever that is. Now there's a little bit over here, right there as well, as you can see right there. A little bit right there as we sort of come to the underneath the pond or whatever that is. Not pond, a little stream. Alright, so I think that represents that and that, so that looks good. And for her face and hands, I mixed up a pinkish color. Let's see what we got. It's close enough. I believe that is close enough. It's a little dark, but we will thin that down some to make it a little bit more realistic and not look like it's plastered on. Here we go. Get the neck and then extend that into the hands. Then we should be good for this particular color. Grab some of that and just come on down into the neck area. Cool. And we'll use some of that permanent green from earlier to go up here. So we just need to just cover this area and then we'll make details of it later with an outline. And now we use some kind of thick quinacridone gold, some Q gold, and come in and do the hair and all that stuff. So it looks kind of dark going on, but then when it dries, it's going to be perfect. Kind of watch our green there so we don't get some of that. It'll be her hair and all that. And I want it a bit uneven around these stars, so it looks kind of like that. Okay, now that that's on, since it's watercolor, we can lift. So we come in with a damp brush, and we're basically just going to get the damp brush and lift some of the color off, so we make some of the waves in her hair. So we have another wave here in the picture. Again, rinse off the brush and just make it a little damp. We have another wave here that sort of comes in and then moves around like right there. So that is going to be done with lifting. Again, just a damp brush, you just clean it off. And then we have like a bigger strand here, like that. There we go. So that gives her hair a little depth than just what I had before. There we go. So we just did the lifting to give her hair a little life. And now we're going to come in, we have a micron pen. If you've never seen these are just a microscopic little pen. Not literally, but... And we're going to come in and give these pearls some depth here. So like right here we have one, and then below that we have one. Etc., etc. So we're just going to come in and do these pearls and give them some depth and reality. I believe that's good enough. All right, so that gives the necklace a nice look, and I think that looks okay. Cool, and we'll move on to the neckline. And for that, we're back to Sunlit Gold. I do not want to do the quinacridone gold for that particular thing. I want it a little lighter. In the picture, it looks about the same, but to me, it looks slightly lighter. So I don't want to do the quinacridone gold. I don't want to do a thinned out quinacridone gold. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to do the Sunlit Gold. I think the Sunlit Gold is going to get me where I want to be. It's going to get me the place that I like, which is where I want to be. There we go. So it has enough variation from the hair, so it doesn't look exactly the same. That's basically what I'm saying. I don't want it to look exactly like the hair. All right, here we go. So we're just going to cover the area with this, avoiding the pearls, obviously, because there's no pearls that are sunlit gold. I'm sure they exist, but not in this picture. There we go. So I think that's good enough. I like the look of this. Cool. And for her baton, we'll come in with some quinacridone gold, just at the bottom of sort of the circle of the baton here. Come into the bottom there and get that. And then we got a little more shading on the left-hand side as well. So we'll just cover that in this beautiful quinacridone gold, by the way. Like right here, and give it a little depth. There we go. And then we'll rinse off the brush and get it to where it's just damp, not soaking wet. Then we're going to drag some of that color up out of the pool there, just at the very edge. And just sort of drag that up here and fill this in like such. Like such. There we go, like that. And then we're going to blend the edges here so we don't have a harsh transition, like that. So just sort of get a little bit of that there. Alright, so we got a spherical look going on the sphere. So this is white, which is a problem. Well, we'll come back later with some gouache, or as we say in Texas, gouache. And come in with some of this. I lost my trace I can't really see. I'm sort of guessing what it would logically be. Hey, that rhymes. I think that's good enough. Again, that's white. So I'll come in with some gouache. I want some of these edges to sort of stick out like that, like it has a hand, like it has a handle, like it has a shape. It's not like solid one solid shape. It has a variance. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, we'll leave it like that and let it dry. And we'll get some white gouache. This is permanent titanium white from Empress. Basically, just going to come in and slather that on. I mean, we could use acrylic paint, whatever. So that looks nice. Here we go. We'll slather that on to get our white space there. So that looks pretty good. And we're continuing on. I have a video game stream in the background in case you wonder what all the yelling is. It's not me, I swear. It's a video game guy. All right. So basically I went back and I added a darker section here because on the card, the darker is represented by the hatching, but I wanted a darker shade of red. And so that's what I did. So now we need to come back and make this. But instead of just making this all one color, or sorry, all one value or all one shade, what I've done is I've mixed a little bit of red with some green. So I have like a really, really dark red, basically, right? So I have this dark red. So what I'm going to do is get this dark red and put it underneath right here. So it looks black, but I swear it's a dark red. So we have a dark red, and it's coming up into here. And it's sort of going into the fold of this other blankie there, this other blankie. So now we're going to have this sort of this dark thing here, and then we can go all around this actually with this like that. And so we just have this dark sort of outline just coming around like that. And then we have a dark outline that's going to go all the way around, and it's going to be the part of the cushion right there. So there we go. So now we have a cushion with an outline, at least. So now what we need to do is to make the bottom part darker than the top part. Does that make sense? Because the bottom part is not getting as much light as the bottom part is not getting as much light. So we're going to make that a little bit darker, sort of what we did up there. But we're just going to get a little bit of this darkness and sort of bring it up. And I want to also get sort of this cylindrical effect as well here, to where we have this darkness at the bottom, and then it sort of bleeds up into a lighter tone up top. So we'll do that. So now that we have the baseline, again, we're going to get a kind of a damp brush, but not fully wet. And we're just going to sort of bring, that's a bit wet. That's a bit too much wet, but okay. But we're sort of bring that tone up, and then sort of we bring it up and bring it up from that base. So same thing here. We're just going to grab this and sort of bring it up, sort of soften that edge and get it to come up a little bit and give it a bit more of a 3D look. So there we have it. Nice, nice. Give it this kind of cylindrical, 3D cylindrical feel and look and all that. So that looks pretty good, and that looks pretty good. We could use a little more of that darkness down there. So I'm just going to dip it into that dark and get a little more in there. And then as we sort of bring it up and bring it around, it obviously is going to lighten up. But yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So there we go. And come up with it. And then come into that. Now we need a little more water on the brush. But yeah, and then we can sort of peel it down like that. So that looks pretty good. That looks pretty nice. Anyway, so there you go. So now we have a little bit more of a 3D look to that particular cushion. We'll obviously need to go back, by the way, and you know, adjust some things a little bit. So we got some black and some of that. So we can adjust that a little bit with a bit more, again, darkness, you know, down on the bottom there. So, and then bring that sort of up like that. And at the top here, so we have the hatching mark here. So this sort of dark right there. And we're going to use that hatching mark. We're going to add that later, but we're just going to sort of use that to, again, blend up. Again, blend up a little bit more. Just reestablish the dark at the bottom. Blend up a little bit more. There we go. So it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So now, because we lost a lot of that darkness in sort of the first blend. I'll do this a couple of times, but I think overall that looks pretty good. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to get a separation between her and the cushion, and I'm going to do that again by coming back with this sort of a dark red. And I think that we can sort of get away with that by having a little darkness here. So we got a little separation from her dress and the cushion. And it's going to look pretty good. It's going to dry a little lighter, so don't fret with all that stuff. Come back in and get more of this dark color. And again, we're just going to sort of blend that out. We're going to sort of blend that out as well. So we don't really want it here because she may not be touching that there. But I just want to sort of get a little bit of a separation between her and the cushion. And again, we're going to get that by just this blend as we just sort of pull that out and pull that away. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. Once it dries up and once we get this all blended, it will be all right. There we go. A little bit more of a blend in there, a little bit more of a push out of this color away from her dress, and I think it will be all right. So it looks pretty cool. So let's do a little more again here with a little bit more concentration in the darkness there, and then sort of again move that out, sort of push that out a little bit, push that out, and make sure the directionality is okay too. So yeah, it looks pretty good. So that's how it looks. So got a bit more of a separation between her and the cushion, and looks pretty cool in my opinion. We need to darken this up a bit, but this will dry a little lighter as well. So now we're going to come in with this gouache and sort of go around it a bit. So right about here, we're going to get this gouache and go around. And I think it's yellow in the picture, but I don't have a yellow gouache. So we're just going to use white for now. And just come around the outside. I think that's going to look pretty cool. A little more gouache, a little more, and then sort of push that down there. And then sort of just taper that off. We don't want it to fully go into that dark section, but want it to just sort of come up in this section here as be light. So we have that nice smooth gouache, and it sort of tapers down there. So that looks pretty cool. I think that looks nice. And now this looks kind of weird, so we're gonna have to fix it by coming in through here and just sort of continuing sort of this this feel of the I guess the cushion or whatever. So we need some separation between it and this. So we'll do it like that. Then we'll come back in and sort of outline the cushion just very, very lightly. Outline it. Just really light outline. I don't want like a ton of color here. I just want this light outline there. So we'll come up with a little smaller brush and get that outline. We can't just outline it here. We have to outline it everywhere. You know, come in through here and again have that separation as it comes across through there. And the actual blanket comes around and under here. There we go. So we have that nice outline. That is a mistake. So now you get to see how to fix a mistake. Basically, I'm just going to get some water and sort of just touch it like that and come in with a towel and just touch it. So now we still have that. We still have this there, but it looks okay. It looks all right. All right, so it looks pretty good. So here's what it looks like in a distance. I think it looks pretty good. So now I want to do the bottom here. And in my opinion, just my humble opinion here, the bottom of this should be a bit dark because the sunlight is not really hitting it, right? So the sunlight is not really hitting this, and so I think it's going to be a little bit darker than maybe the rest of it. So just my opinion here. So I know we're going to have a variety of different things down here, but I think we're going to have a little bit of a darker influence for this particular thing coming down. So now we're going to have to get the different types of folds. So I think the first fold is going to be sort of this red, darker red, and the darker red is going to be right here. So right here within the fold. So right up against the heart kind of thing here. Right up against this heart, I think we have this fold. And the fold sort of comes up like that. And that is going to be our darker fold. And then we have, that's going to be light because the light's hitting it. And then as we come down, let's see to establish this fold again here. All right, we put a little bit more dark in there too, because I know it's going to dry lighter. So yeah, we have that nice dark fold there. We have a dark fold sort of coming down here in between these two things here. This dark fold, and again it's coming into this darker area here. Again, we can make this a little bit darker. And we have a little darker smidge there. And then a darker thing there. There we go. So that's going to be light. Then we have one coming down here. And this one sort of stops there. And that's going to be dark as well. So let's get a bit more color on the brush and come in and make that a bit dark. So that's going to be dark. And then we have another fold sort of coming down here. And then we have one last fold here. Let's make this whole thing dark within there. It's like the whole fold is dark. Yeah, there we go. And then we have a little bit of a sort of a dark chunk right there. And okay, that looks pretty good. Then we can come in, sort of be dark on the side of those, and that's going to look okay. And we have that dark there, and then we have this sort of this feel coming across here, down there. There we go. Then we get another one of those there. And so that's going to be like that. There we go. So we're just going to bring this up just a little bit. We'll blend that up into there. And you bring this up a little bit. So sort of gets like that. All right. That looks interesting. Doesn't look real, but it looks interesting. So rather than fight with this negative painting and having to be super precise about it, we're just going to sort of go in with a yellow, and then we're going to mask it off, and then we're just going to use the mask as our guide, and then we're going to go over the whole thing with a dark burnt sienna, and at that point it will look great because we don't have to do negative painting. I don't mind negative painting. It's just negative painting is when you fill in the gaps. So as you can see, the gaps is going to be a problem here, specifically here, because of the small, super tiny, small things that we have there. So instead of fighting with that and trying to get that very precise, I'm just going to put some yellow in here and then go through and mask it tomorrow when this is nice and dry. And yeah, and then we'll come in with a dark brown and do that. But for now, we just have the yellow. So there we go. That looks good to me. To me, it looks fine. Let's hop over here and do some of the greens. So we have this bright, pretty yellowish green. So I'm just going to grab some of that yellow that we just used, and then some of the green. And it's making a terrible color. Let me try something else. All right, this is not going to work out well, but okay, whatever. So I'm just going to put some green in here for now and just sort of work it in. So we have this nice, pretty green. It's kind of what I wanted. And when it touches that yellow, it turns it into this pukey olive. Not a big fan of the pukey olive. So whatever. So we're just going to go through the green here. Just put some green. This is sort of a base coat anyway, so I'm just going to put some green in there. So there we go. We have a yellow in between it, and we have a green in there and all that stuff. So come through and just sort of blend these together a little bit. So it looks all right. Looks pretty cool. Doesn't look as nice as I thought it would, but sure, whatever. Do you have that yellow feeling within there? So there's going to be tree branches sort of touching this anyway. And I want to get sort of a darker green at this point and have the darker green sort of up here. So as we come out, we have that darker green. And then over here, we have a little bit of a darker green as well. So it looks all right. It looks all right indeed. All right, cool. A darker green there. Okay. All right. I think that's what I wanted for now. All right. And so I think this is the end of the first video. So we got a lot of base coats in. So let's take a look at sort of what we have now. Let me get this out of the way. So here is where we're at the end of the first video. So this next video, we're going to go start her dress. We're going to get the base coats down here. We're going to do the negative painting here and just peel off the masking fluid. We're going to fix her hand where I obviously got the hand position wrong. And we'll put in the branches and that, and we will start this, which is just going to behave. No, we'll start this, which is obviously that. And yeah, we'll have one more third video detailing everything. In other words, putting in her face and all the other stuff. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Let me know if you like seeing painting. If not, let me know too, and I'll never put it up. Thank you for watching.